Before you scroll away, let me ask you something. Can the wounds of war ever truly heal? We often see the aftermath: ruined cities, broken families, generations haunted by trauma. But what if within those ashes there are seeds of peace? In this video, we go deep, not just into the past, but into the heart of healing. This isn't just about history, it's about humanity. If you believe that peace is possible and that you can be a part of it, stay with us until the end. The scars of conflict. A global perspective: war is not just fought on battlefields, it embeds itself into the very fabric of our existence. The scars it leaves behind are not merely physical. They are deeply psychological, spiritual, and generational. 1. The physical and psychological wounds, from burned cities in Syria to the bullet-ridden homes of Sarajevo. The ruins of war remain long after the gunfire ends. But what about the Jengve? Ruins within the human soul? Soldiers return home with invisible wounds, PTSD, survivors' guilt, moral injury. Civilians, especially children, grow up knowing more about grenades than playgrounds. Entire populations carry trauma silently. Some wounds never get a chance to bleed. They calcify into identity, culture, and worldview. 2. Broken infrastructure and collapsed economies. Wars don't just kill people, they kill systems. Roads, schools, hospitals gone. Economies collapse. Foreign investments disappear. Inflation skyrockets. Basic needs like food and water become strategic weapons. When infrastructure is shattered, hope becomes a scarce resource. Peace can't take root where hunger, poverty, and fear are everyday realities. 3. The ripple effect across generations. Trauma has no expiration date. The horrors of the past pass silently into the DNA of the future. Children of conflict inherit the rage and sorrow of their parents. Grandparents tell stories not of bedtime fantasies, but of bombs, betrayal, and survival. And so the cycle continues, each generation shaped by scars they didn't choose. The question is no longer, what happened? It becomes, what will we choose to do with what happened? The price of division. Examining historical conflicts. History isn't just something we study in school books. It's a mirror. And sometimes it's a warning. 1. Root causes. Politics, economics, and power. Conflict rarely starts with gunfire. It begins in whispers in boardrooms, backrooms, and broken promises. Political oppression, economic inequality, power concentrated in the hands of a few. The Rwandan genocide, the partition of India, World War I. Each conflict stemmed from systemic fault lines long ignored or exploited. 2. The role of nationalism and ideology. I'm better than you. We belong here, you don't. They're the enemy. Nationalism, when twisted, becomes a dangerous fuel. Ideologies, when absolute, become the justifications for cruelty. The Holocaust wasn't just about war, it was about an ideology of hate. Apartheid wasn't just about policy, it was about dehumanization. And yet, these same nations, Germany, South Africa, have also shown the world what repentance, reconciliation, and rebuilding look like. 3. History repeats itself unless we learn the sad truth. We keep making the same mistakes, the same power struggles, the same divisions, the same us versus them narratives. But if we study these patterns, if we listen, we begin to notice something remarkable. We've also learned how to repair, the path to reconciliation. Lessons learned. Peace is not a destination, it's a process. One filled with trials, setbacks, but also profound breakthroughs. 1. Successful peace-building initiatives. South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission, TRC, gave victims a voice and perpetrators a path to accountability. Post-World War II, Europe saw the rise of the European Union, an economic pact that started with steel and coal and turned enemies into partners. Colombia's peace talks with FARC rebels, though imperfect, marked a turning point in a 50-year conflict. These are not perfect stories, but they are proof that peace is possible. 2. The power of truth and justice through healing requires truth, not sanitized, not rewritten, raw, honest. It also requires justice, not revenge, but accountability. Without justice, the wound festers. With it, healing has a chance. A society that buries its past risks burying its future. 3. Education, cultural exchange, and development. Peace is not built with weapons, it's built with understanding. Through schools that teach empathy, through exchanges that reveal our shared humanity, through economic empowerment that offers alternatives to violence. When young Israelis and Palestinians play soccer together, when former enemies perform in a symphony together, when children learn the history of all sides, stops being a dream. It starts becoming a way of life, building a future of peace. A collective responsibility. Peace is not just the job of diplomats or leaders. It's our collective calling. 1. The interconnectedness of global security. A bomb dropped on one side of the planet echoes across borders. Refugee crises don't stop at checkpoints. Economic instability spreads like wildfire. Terrorist ideologies thrive in power vacuums. Injustice anywhere truly is a threat to justice everywhere. 2. Diplomacy, multilateralism, and aid. Imagine a world where nations solve disputes with words, not weapons. Global powers lead with compassion, not conquest. Rich countries uplift the poor, not exploit them. International cooperation through the UN, peacekeeping forces, and humanitarian aid can prevent the spark before it becomes a wildfire. Yes, it's slow. Yes, it's complicated. But every dialogue delayed is a life potentially saved. 3. Yes, you can make a difference. You don't need to be a politician to promote peace. You need to be awake. You need to be aware. You need to care. Volunteer for refugee assistance. Support organizations rebuilding post-conflict zones. Speak out against injustice in your community. Be the bridge in a world of walls. Your role in building peace. Let's be honest. Peace sounds idealistic. But peace is not the absence of conflict, it's the presence of justice. And justice begins with you. 1. Shift your mindset. Replace judgment with curiosity. Replace stereotypes with stories. Replace fear with empathy. Before you argue, ask yourself, what wound might this person be carrying? 2. Engage in peaceful activism. You don't have to protest on the streets, though you can. You can. Start a conversation at home. Challenge discrimination in your workplace. Teach your kids compassion. Every small act of peace adds up. 3. Be a light in the darkness. In a world addicted to outrage, choose grace. In a world obsessed with winning, choose listening. In a world divided by us and them, be the bridge. The world doesn't just need fewer wars. It needs more peace builders. And you, yes, you watching this video are one of them. So, can the wounds of war ever truly heal? Maybe not completely, but healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing to transform pain into purpose, to build bridges where bombs once fell, to sow love where hate once reigned. We are all connected by hope, by humanity, and by our shared future. If this message touched you, share it. If it moved you, act on it. Because peace isn't a promise, it's a choice. One we must make every single day. Comment below. What does peace mean to you? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to SkyboundVoice, where purpose meets passion and voices rise for change. Together, let's turn echoes of war into songs of peace.